My fellow compatriots, I am lawyer Usainu Darboe, the presidential candidate for the United Democratic Party, the party that stands for hope, the party that stands for peace, the party that stands for unity, the party that stands for progress, the party that stands for justice. I offer myself to you, the Gambian people, in order to satisfy your thirst for good government in this country, in order to feed your hunger of good governance in this country, in order to ensure that the country has proper and economic system in place, a country that will be developed, a country that will have its human capital properly looked into, a country that will be a beacon of hope. And the United Democratic Party is the only party that can offer you this. It is the only party that can really live up to your aspirations. You have tested the incumbent. He has failed you in every aspect. He promised you that he would give a new constitution. When that new constitution was presented to the National Assembly, he got his acolytes to butcher it and have it thrown into the dustbin. He promised you that he would get prices of basic commodities down. What we are now witnessing is certainly a steep rise in the cost of living. He promised you that you'll have economic reform, you'll have a security sector reform. You don't see anything other than food dragging. He promised you that this country will be the envy of Africa. Indeed, Africans are completely disappointed and ashamed that a president who makes such a promise can leave his country in such a situation. Now, the United Democratic Party is here to really answer to your expectations, to address your expectations, the expectations of the youth, the expectations of the teaching class, the expectations of the people in the medical practice, the expectations of people in the agricultural industry, the expectations of the taxi drivers, the expectations of the housewives, the market women. The United Democratic Party is here to really address your expectations and to ensure that your expectations are really fulfilled. When I recall sometime in January 2017, when the president came back from Dakar, the traffic was, there was no movement. There was a complete traffic jam. I was stuck in the traffic for about 2 hours. But there were some young ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who were in a trailer. They were not bothered about the lack of movement of vehicles. They were not bothered by the traffic jam. They were dancing, clapping. And what were they singing? Mawulenke, Manta Bakwela, Baro Ganyeta. That was the expectation of those young people. That Baro Ganyeta, there'll be no back way, there'll be employment. But alas, what have we seen? Utter disappointment, a complete disregard of the expectations of those people. What have we witnessed? Efforts of self-perpetuation. Corruption is rife, and there's nothing done by this government to fight corruption. United Democratic Party comes here to provide the panacea to all these ills. And I, your candidate, your presidential candidate, the person who can really do for you, the Gambians, what you need. In my private life, you've seen how much I have attended to the weak, the underprivileged, how much I have assisted the poor. And I would do better when I'm heading the executive of this country. So I call you all to vote for United Democratic Party. We have presented our 5-point agenda right across the country, and it appears to have been well received. And this 5-point agenda addresses the youth unemployment. It addresses the chronic failures in our education system, which needs complete revamping. It addresses the problems of agriculture. It addresses infrastructure, digital infrastructure, as well as the poor health service delivery of the country. So I'm asking all of you Gambians, you, the sovereign voters of this country, to cast your vote into that ballot box, which is painted yellow and no other ballot box. That way, you will redeem this country. That way, the capable state that UDP intends to establish in this country will come about. I am being assisted in the efforts to win these elections by the support of GFA, which has similar ideas, similar vision to we at the United Democratic Party. And we believe that with the GFA and other parties that I'm appealing to, and persons that I'm appealing to join us, together we will make a better Gambia. Together we will make a Gambia that our children, grandchildren, and generations yet unborn will be proud of. I thank you all for listening, and I hope to continue this conversation with you, and I hope that my members of my party, as well as our associates from GFA and other parties that may join us, will come on board and speak to you, the Gambian people, to tell you the reason and the need why you should change this government that has failed you in every aspect. You cannot trust Adama Barrow. He has told you himself that when you go on campaign, promise anything, and when you succeed, do whatever you want to do. Is that the man you want to trust? Is that an honest person? You want to lead a nation and you don't want to be honest? Is that what you need? You really need honest people like myself who will never deceive you, who will never tell you something and then renege on it. It is not the type of Adama Barrow you need in this country. Your choice is clear. It is choice between honesty and dishonesty. What Adama Barrow did was absolutely dishonest. You have a clear choice, a choice between an incorruptible character and a person who is prone to corruption. And Adama Barrow certainly is corrupt. And I challenge that I've challenged him that the vehicles he's declared, he has not identified vehicles by number, by registration number, lump sum. And we want you, Mr. President, to really, if you do not tell the IEC, to come to the Gambian people whose votes you are looking for and tell them how you really acquire those vehicles. I want you to, Mr. President, to come and tell the Gambian people the money that you declare. Some say 50 million, some say 15 million, some say 207 million, whatever the amount is, how you were able to amass that. Granting your salary, even if you do not spend anything out of your salary, granted that you cannot really amass such amount of money within this period of time. So tell us the source of that. And the Gambian people, you now have the opportunity to compare Darboe with Adama Barrow. You have the opportunity to compare our characters. You know who is trustworthy and who is not trustworthy. But I know you will not make the mistake of voting him again and be faced with another response. Dangay campagne, ngay wax dara, waaye su beba so gagné nga def leneen loo bëgg a def. I don't think you really want to hear that again. And you are going to hear that again if you really elect Adama Barrow to become president of this country again. So please, on the 4th of December, the yellow box, that's where your ballot token should be. I thank you all.
Are you still committed to those 3 years, or could you decide to stay longer as president?
This is the agreement. That's what we agree on principle.
Lampo buri lulu mealo ka jalla Gambia be kono ani lampo fana be way passe be CCTV fana so lol
mbe misiri lulu fana lo la kari wo kari kono Sango kono misir taw woron wala lola.
Sere kundala silol ni be dokula ni drainage be la nyanda talo nyola andaka la pilot project la di abele nyanda dokula nyola. Mbe overhead bridge or soro la silol dol be tamala dumal silol dol be tamala sandu.
Mbe permanent solution do wala soro la Banjul bara mba kala bridge olati.
Kon Banjul dafa mel ni Singapore. Banjul dafa mel ni Dubai.
You said 3 years, Mr. President.
If you are campaigning,
What changed?
you can say all sort of things.